physics as well as CRISPR technology, and we will be having a quiz at the end.
Man, I kind of want to do it from this lecture panel now that I've always wanted to be a guest lecturer or get an honorary doctorate.
Top score 9,000?
The what?
Top score 9,000?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Something about 9,000?
Something about a lecture. Will the top score for the pop quiz be 9,000?
Oh, I don't know about that. We'll see. It might be 9,001. I'm going to stay here for a little bit. Hang on, my phone's dinging like crazy. Who's texting me? We don't know where you are. Hang on. Which bathroom? I'm on my panel now. Where the fuck are you? I'm just kidding. Yeah, hi, my name's Sean. Schemmel. Not Schemmel, just Schemmel. Schemmel's my Stefan Urkel name. Sean Schemmel's my Steve Urkel name. I'm kind of a Family Matters fan. And I'm best known as the voice of Goku and Kinkai, Nail on Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. And I also played a bunch of other stuff and a bunch of other things like Fallout 4 and Batman The Dark Knight Rises and Scooby-Doo and Pokemon and Ninja Turtles. And I don't know, I don't like listing my credits because it just comes across as bragging, and I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to. I might sit down. This is kind of awkward. I feel like I need notes, and I need to be disseminating complex information to which you are bored of. And I don't have any of that unless you want to lecture on brass pedagogy, which will not be fun. Although I would find it interesting. So I'm going to sit over here now, and maybe the audio guy will adjust. And so that's what I do. I'm also an ADR director and former professional French hornist. And I only tell you these things in case you want to talk about things that. You know, I like guitars too and stuff. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a Q&A. I try to do my Q&As, you know, based on what the room wants. So, you know, we can talk about Dragon Ball, we can talk about how to do a good voice, we can talk about whatever you want. Try to make it infotainment-y, so if there's anything I can help with. I can't believe this room is this full. That's really surprising. Did you guys, and I'm really sorry about, I know we were having security issues because we had some issue yesterday, so I hope you guys are getting in okay and it's not too hot for you, but if you're from here, I suppose you're used to it. So, I grew up in West Texas. Well, Iowa, I was born in Iowa, and I grew up in Odessa, Texas. And by the way, that whole Friday night football lights thing, it's all true. I played football in Odessa at that, in the 80s. I did. So I actually lived that TV show a little bit, and it was kind of oddly accurate. And I can also say that Stranger Things is very much like my childhood in the 80s. Without the monster part. But yeah, every time I watch that show, I'm so picky. I watch that show and I'm like, they got everything right except the hair needs to be just a little bit shittier. If you look, they got the wings going, but if you notice everyone's hair, it needs to be just a touch frizzy. If you look at 80s pictures, everybody's got kind of, it's because they're using Prel and Suave and Head and Shoulders. That was real popular then. Which, you know, is not my favorite shampoo choice. No offense to those brands, because they probably work on plenty of other people. But yeah, so I also have horrible ADHD, and I try not to curse, because I know there's kids, but I kind of don't care. So, there's no scientific evidence. I'm about scientific evidence, so there's no scientific evidence that actually has actually there's scientific evidence that shows the opposite, that if you're much mentally healthier if you curse a lot. So I'm down with that. And I will take questions, and I will probably riff on questions for a number of minutes and answer too long. I don't want everybody to get in a line on the mic, because then what happens is I don't get through the line and then I feel like a jerk. Where's my moderator? I might want you to grab that mic and then walk over to people. What was your name again? I am so sorry. Carolyn, yes, I didn't get your name because I was in such a hurry to get here. This is the moderator. Sometimes I use one, sometimes I don't. But yeah, if you could grab the mic and then when I pick people, just walk over to them. I can't answer many questions about Super. I can answer some. I don't care to talk about Team 4 Star, so don't ask me if I've seen it. It's fine. I don't give a shit why it matters if I like it. If you like it, great. If, you know, that's fine. I don't work on that show. I came to talk about my show. So that's how I feel about it. So anyway, so I'm going to sit down now. This is a little more comfortable. And so I'm going to let hands go up, and Carolyn will walk over with the mic. This gentleman here, who's going to ask me a question that
I guarantee you that you've probably never been asked.
I bet I have. Let's do a bet.
Let's say they were doing an anime and doing a dub, and you were playing like a lead character, except the lead character was a Mastiff type dog breed.
Was a what?
A dog breed that's in the Mastiff family.
Oh yes. Okay.
What kind of Mastiff type breed would you want to voice if that was?
I'm not familiar with all the Mastiff breeds. I do know that my dog.
who's about this big, who is a mix, loves giant mastiffs. So when I take her to the sheep herding place, she'll find the biggest dog in the park and like become the girlfriend of that dog because she's a hoe like that. She is such a, so I have no idea. I like the big ones that are scary. So
because Goku is such a bad A, I can see you doing the voice of a Japanese mastiff.
Sure. I don't know what those look like or what they
They
sound
kind
like.
of look like bloodhounds.
Okay. But in order for me to pick a voice, you're asking me to actually do my job here on the panel. So that means I would get online and I would do research on mastiffs. Then I would look at the character and look at the script, and then I would spend about 30 minutes figuring all that out. Then I would practice a bunch of voices. Then I would get the mic out going. It's a process. So I can't answer your question in terms of favorite mastiff. And you're right, I haven't asked that question. Yes, this lady back here, yes. I just saw her gloved hand. I just saw the Michael Jackson Experience in Las Vegas, speaking of gloved hands. And they had like at the beginning a floating, like his symbols. They had like the hat and then the floating glasses and a floating glove. And I'm like, why don't they have a floating golden jockstrap too? Like I was hoping they should have all of the symbols. Oh! What was your question, young lady?
I just wanted to say thank you again for being here.
Oh, happy to be here, yes.
My question is, I actually wanted to know if you had a specific like pivotal moment during the filming of Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball Super where you were really emotionally like attached to a scene or to like a specific scenario.
That's a multi-layered question. I get attached to, I'm attached to everything when I'm working. I love that link head, by the way, that's great. I kind of want to wear it on this entire panel, but it would be awkward. There was a couple of moments, when we started recording, we were required to, in 1989, we were required to mimic the Canadian cast, which I was following very closely up until we started on episode 53, the Ginyu Saga in 1999. And by the time we got to the Super Saiyan business, I had decided, the day I did the first Super Saiyan transformation was the day I decided to not pay attention to anybody else and do it my own way. And that was emotionally connected for me. In Dragon Ball Z Kai, when Goku's apologizing half-assedly to Gohan for being a shitty father, that was particularly emotional for me because I tried to make Goku choke up a little bit to show that he has some shred of care for his own children. I really was. I was like, I don't know who this dipshit is, but he does not love his children like he should. Yeah, just go train with a green guy in the woods. Like, Child Protective Services does not exist in the Dragon Ball universe. And then the Child Protective Services guy shows up at Vegeta's door and gets like annihilated, just vaporized at the door. Hi, I'm so-and-so with Child Protective. Hilarious. Those moments are critical. During Resurrection of the Battle of Gods, that was particularly emotionally charged for me because that was the best bit of work we ever did. I was particularly proud of both those movies. And Dragon Ball Super has been emotionally charged with a lot of fighting with my director, and also we argue a lot because we care so much about the show. I'll spend an hour working on the line, and they're like, "Money, hello," and I'm like, "Quality, hello." We are. No, Chris is all about quality also, but he has to get the job done too. So and Justin, my producer, is also all about that. But we also there's the triangle, time, quality, money, pick two or something. I can't remember the triangle. So yeah, those are things that are emotionally attaching for me. I tend to live in the character so much though that I oftentimes forget I am this character on this show. Even though there's Goku shit all over my apartment, I just consider it like, you got your apartment, you got your house, and you got your tables and chairs and the things that your space that you just, that's the kitchen table. Well, like all my Goku stuff is kind of like that. It's like, that's the stuff that goes in my house. Like it's not, I don't look at it and see it as a separate thing. So it's a weird experience. I think a lot of actors go through this, but I think those of us who've been playing a character this long have it a little worse in some ways. Let me get some people way in the back because, I didn't pick him. Why are you picking? I said, way in the back. Who are you pointing? Oh, you're getting the mic back. I thought you were pointing to somebody else. Sorry. Unilaterally making decisions. Go way in the back. We're going to work our way. I'll jump around the room to try to get everybody a shot. That guy with a beard, or whoever's got a beard. I don't know. Somebody with a beard now. I just got into double-edged razor blade shaving though, so those guys, I really recommend it. I didn't shave today because I got such a close shave yesterday, I couldn't shave today. But I brought my brush and it's so much fun. Anyway, it's like a little spa. I understand why you ladies are always doing all the spa shit in the bathroom. Shaving cream. And I'm like, I told my girlfriend, I'm like, oh, this is like, she see? And I'm like, yeah. All right. What was your question? Yes.
So I noticed you used Goku's voice in the Berserk movie. Was that personally your choice, or?
That's my natural voice, just higher. That's not really a Goku voice per se. It's in that genre, but you'll notice Gaston's diction is different than Goku, so it is a subtle distinction. That was totally accidental. That wasn't intentional. I just was doing a young guy hero that I was told was going to be Guts' best friend, and I thought it was a juicy part, but I have 5 lines and I die at the end. So I was pretty mad at Michael St. Nicholas for, yeah, he's his best friend, it's going to be great. And I'm like, yeah, right. Once I started recording, I realized there's nothing here for me, although I enjoyed being a part of that series. All right, next question, yes. Let's get another guy in the back, then we'll move to the front, yeah.
I'm sure everyone here can relate. I think I was 12 years old. That's how long it's been since Dragon Ball Z has become my favorite thing, period. Watching, growing up with that character, you know, through that whole experience, I'm sure everyone can relate to the chill down your spine we got when we seen you go Super Saiyan for the first time. Your voice is really what I heard through all of that, what we all heard through that. That's the voice I heard through the transformation. What I'm getting at is, like, I'm watching Super now, but I wait every week to watch the dub version because I want it to be your voice.
Well, thank you.
What goes through your head when you know that there's so many people out here like that spend so many hours of their lives just in love with the show and so appreciative of the work you do?
I try not to think about it only because it's an emotion I don't handle well. I remember my friend Ralph, who's a dear friend of mine, is a genius. He's been in Mensa since he was like 8th grade. He's the guy that actually turned me on to CRISPR technology. He has a doctorate in biology. He explained all this stuff to me about CRISPR technology, which I think you guys should look into because it's amazing. We're talking like X-Men powers in the future, perhaps. It's going to be awesome. But the reason I bring him up is because one time it was 10 years ago. I've been doing this show, 10 years almost. And I was laying in bed and I was chatting with Ralph, and I said, sometimes I lay in bed and I think about the brain of a child growing, and it's hearing my voice and the vibrations, and it's being interwoven in the neural net as someone's developing versus someone who may start watching Dragon Ball when they're 25 or 30 or something. And the idea that my vibrations are part of kind of someone's warm, fuzzy place from childhood is scary to me. I mean, I can relate to it. This is the reason I cried when I did a session with Frank Welker, who's the voice of Scooby-Doo, because he's my childhood. So, I'm in the booth trying to read my lines, and he does, and I literally can't stop shaking to work on this Lego Scooby-Doo episode we did, which I consider a huge bucket list moment for me. And I'm a huge Rush fan, and I got Neil Peart's drumsticks and almost cried. So it's a cyclical thing, art, and you may create something or do something that someone feels the same way about. So it's if I'm affecting you in this way, now it's your turn to create your thing, to have that effect, and it's a gift that keeps on giving. So it is shocking to me. And when I met my girlfriend, she was an operations analyst for an educational software company, so she does Google Analytics and stuff, and she was doing all my analytics, and she goes, "You realize these videos have watched like 36 million?" I don't think in those terms, and so now I've got people up my ass trying to tell me, "You gotta do Twitter," and then I try to keep my Twitter feed as real as possible, as some of you will notice, because I don't take shit. Because think of it this way, here's a psychological thing I'm gonna toss on you. No pun intended, if you say something, that I don't like, or something that, may be snarky, and I respond with some placated answer, I'm not treating you like a real human being with an opinion. I'm doing what other larger celebrities do when they don't want to lose their fan base because it has to do with money, which I hate. And then they're creating sycophants by placating you, and I think it's disrespectful for me to not answer you honestly. So if you're like, "I hate your Goku Black voice," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, is there anything I can do to change it? Do you like it? Please like me?" Then I'm not even really telling you what I really think. which is I don't care what you think, but I care what you think. You know what I mean? Like I do want, look, if you hate it, I'm not going to tweet because you hate it, but I've got my own artistic reasons, but I definitely want your opinion. I guess my point is psychologically is like, I think I'm a bigger jerk if I'm not myself to you back. Because you're a human being with thoughts, ideas, and feelings, tweeting me, talking to me, and I've got to respond to you like a human being, like I would if you're at a bar and you tap me on the shoulder, hey, you go, I think this sucks. I'm like, oh really? You think it sucks? Why do you think it sucks? I think you suck. Like, if I'm like, oh really? I'm so sorry. What do you like about it? I'm filtering my truth. I'm being disrespectful to you by not being a real honest person to you. So on the one hand, I apologize for being snarky sometimes, but on the other hand, I think it's a bigger disservice to anyone who's in fandom, and I'm in my own fandom. I have my own things I love. Like I follow people on Twitter, and I have my own people I think are amazing, and my own voice actors I look up to. And and if they're never not genuine with me, I get irritated. I like the ones that are like being real with me. So that's a ball I was going to throw at you that's tangential to the original discussion. So yeah, the original question was about the voice and the kids growing up, and it is an honor and it is an overwhelming feeling, and it was my intention, because I almost got replaced early on in the show because I moved away to New York and I flew back on my own dime because Funimation was not under good management at the time. And I paid my own way to finish this up at very little money, because when I'm dead, I want somebody to have a consistent voice for a whole series, because I got real pissed off when they would change the voice of my favorite shows. For some reason, producers think they can sell you a chocolate chip cookie and then change the formula and tell you it's the same chocolate chip cookie and you're supposed to like it as much. You need to send the message loud and clear to those guys. The dessert debacle is a perfect example of that, as well as the Pokemon debacle, which is another example that won't fly with you and you won't buy it. Because the reason Pokemon's still going on with a different cast is because you guys keep buying it. So, and I'm not bragging on you, I'm just saying, we as artists and actors, if you care about this voice and you're glad that I did it for so many years, you have a lot of power to be able to say, hey, I'm not watching this news show when you replace the voice, or if you replace Sean, we're not watching it. And that gives me power to have a job and job security, and you power to have the voice you want on the show. So I know I just went on a big tangential thing, that's how my mind works. But hopefully that answers your question. And yes, it is overwhelming and gratifying to know that your voice is associated with something like that. But I'm just trying to pay forward what the other voice actors did for me when I was watching Super Friends and Scooby-Doo and Speed Buggy and Bugs Bunny and all that stuff that I love. Let's get somebody else. Let's move a little bit further forward. I'm going to pick some people up here at the front. Let's get this kid right here. Yes, with the parted hair. Yes, you have a lovely Animal Crossing style haircut there. It's a compliment. They love the hair in Animal Crossing.
Can you do the voice of Goku real quick?
I'd rather not, only because I'm talking 8 hours. I might do a little at the end. And by the way, people ask me a lot. Here's the deal. I watched 2 Cartoon Network series doing Goku at conventions, and my agent's like, you can't do voices at cons because you're talking all day, and then when you do the voice, you come back and you talk like this, and I can't work. And we're on hiatus from Super right now, but we're about to start recording again, so I have to be really careful. I'd probably do something maybe at the very end. How do you do a little bit of King Kai? I'd like to perform for you, but I also want to have a voice that talks to you, and I've got 4 days of this, so this is day 2. I was here yesterday signing. But yes, let's yeah, we got the beard. He caught my attention, yeah. And then we're gonna go wide, maybe over there. Yeah, these people. Sorry.
Sorry, I figured I was easier to see than Mona.
Yes, oh, I see, you're saying, that's okay. He did an alley-oop.
This is probably a question you've gotten before, but sorry.
That's all right, it's on.
You probably got this question before, but how raspy was your voice after Goku and Super Saiyan 3 for the first time?
Oh, it's always raspy after any session, usually. And I'll usually record King Kai after Goku, because I can always do King Kai no matter how crappy my voice sounds, because, I'm getting he's gonna do this. Exactly what I'm doing, because you gotta get your jaws in here. Let's get this lady over here. Okay, you're grabbing the mic. Yes, you with the flipping your hair about. Yes, now you're looking around, now you're looking at me. What? I can't.
For the mic or just start talking?
Oh, you just start talking, yeah, if I can hear you. I can hear her, that's
so
fine.
as you can tell from previous questions and probably your entire career with Dragon Ball Z, it has been heavily formulative in the youth of many people, especially young boys. I can tell these just from my brother growing up. So as an academic, I really like studying how the series represents masculinity and male power pins.
Well, that's interesting.
And I was wondering, what ways do you think the show at any point, positively represents masculinity, says positive messages, and sends potentially negative messages.
Well, now we're having a philosophical debate about what masculinity is, and is it defined by being a man or by society creating it? How much is nurture nature? So therefore, we have to define that, and then if we get really academic, then we have to look at how that applies relative to either stereotypes, and it's a chicken and egg thing, and that's going to turn this into an hour lecture. But when you ask the tough question, I'm going to think about it. So yeah, that's a weird thing for me. And we have a whole lot of growth and change here in America with, and I have to get on a soapbox a little bit and say, I consider myself a fairly well-read, educated person, and it was shocking to me the amount of leftover sexism, racism, misogyny, etc., that was hidden in the United States that I thought would fundamentally, it improved. And so I was shocked to see, things on Facebook about unarmed kids getting shot, or people not being able to use the right restroom, et cetera, which I'm supportive of. My whole politics, by the way, are all about equal rights and everybody getting a fair playing field. So people give me a hard time whether I'm too liberal or whatever. I'm like, look, liberal means free, so I don't know why it's a bad word. And if you don't like liberalism or being free, then you can be not free, but don't let your not freedom infringe on my freedom to do what I want with my body or my life. So as far as masculinity is concerned, it's so funny that you mentioned that, because I had kind of a stunted arrested development of sorts, and I remember being in my early 30s, and I never did the drinking and the partying in college. I was a French horn player, so I was practicing in the studio every night, or in my practice room every night. And so I never got woos for French horn playing. And I'm about to start playing again. I'm going to start doing some. I've been playing, and I'm going to try to do a recital next year. Maybe a midnight at the convention. I'm not sure. So I might do some classical music for you guys at some point. But so that's funny that you mentioned that, because as far as masculinity is concerned, I didn't have the most masculine role model in terms of traditional masculinity, because my dad's a Lutheran minister, and he's also real peaceful and chill, and he adopted me. I'm a pretty intense guy, actually, but he adopted me, and he would always say to me, Sean, relax, just relax. I don't know, I don't do that. I don't know how to relax. And so I didn't have a traditional suck in your emotions. So a lot of other men who I would interact with would call me a wimp, or some other word that would imply that I'm not strong, because I was in touch with my feminine side and my feelings, which has been extraordinarily useful as a voice actor. When I say feminine side, I mean stereotypical, because men have these feelings also, although women process emotions in different areas of the brain than men do, and they have a larger corpus callosum. What's that?
We're allowed to present them.
We're allowed to present them, you're allowed to show them to each other in same sex, etc., whether or not it's homosexual or not. You just, braiding and touching. Like, I'm not going to be braiding my male friend's hair that I'm not gay with. You know what I mean? But, the ladies are doing this thing, right? But I think it's becoming more and more accepted, guys, to be able to, just show feelings and hug and be, not homophobic about showing affection to your fellow man. But because I did not grow up in a household where I was in a tough guy house, I was ridiculed to some degree, and I was also a French horn player, so I was, teased and ridiculed a lot, which I threatened to insert my French horn up their asses when they. I remember saying that to you, I was like, "Shut their ass." Not realizing that too sounded extra gay, but then I could see them thinking, "Oh wow, he really is," and I'm like, "No, I'm a threat, a pain with a horn." So that was like in junior high school or something. But I guess the point is, not to turn the whole panel into, this discussion, is that I also did not have a typical role model. And I remember being married, and these guys coming up to me about Amway, trying to sell me Amway, and I said, well, I gotta talk to my wife first. Like, well, who wears pants in that? I go, we both wear pants, sometimes she wears a skirt. I didn't understand this whole, I gotta tell her, and I looked at her as my peer and my equal. We're no longer married, obviously, but I looked at her as my peer and my equal, which is the way I look at my girlfriend and anybody I'm dating. And so that was a weird, which if you look, it goes back to intergenerational trauma, socialized masculinity, which goes back to, if you really trace the cause and effect, you go back to caveman times, you got the men having to kill things, the women are creating language and making food because they don't have testosterone, so we have this symbiosis thing going. So then you could say that it goes back from there, and now that we've evolved enough technologically, we no longer need those these masculine things to ways of being, as part of our culture because we no longer have this caveman mentality. This is the short version. By the way, I have a lot of Neanderthal DNA. I had my DNA tested. It's interesting. But anyway, I hope that with Dragon Ball Z representing masculinity, depending on what masculinity you're talking about, Goku represents weird masculinity. Vegeta represents, traditional, classical, machismo masculinity. What is it?
Hyper.
I guess you could say hyper masculine. Machismo would be hyper. That sort of thing. Bulma has her own masculine tendencies, but if you say masculine is assertive and therefore not feminine, I mean, that's the problem. It's philosophical and you start going, well, what is the reality? And then I usually just go to sleep. But not because it's boring, but because I'm like, okay, well, I don't have an answer, and the only thing to do is just, try not to hurt other people. I guess is the only thing you can say. So I'm always afraid when we have questions like this that somebody's going to videotape it. I said something in there that wasn't quite right. Then somebody's going to be a dick to me online. Then I'm going to have to do some kind of sobbing public apology where I'm like, I'm sorry for my words, and I'm like, okay, if I offend anybody, I'm sorry, but this is how I feel. Okay, so I hope that answered your question to the best I can. But we got into some other stuff, so that was interesting. I love questions like that, though. Thank you. My dad's an academic, that's why I can relate to what you're talking about. But yes, let's get some. Well, everyone has to answer. Well, there might be somebody like, no, not me, and then I'm offending them, and I'm like, yes, what are we doing? Hi, oh yes, Froman, yes.
That's good.
Hey, how's it going?
So here's my question. You know how they were talking about Super Saiyan 3, how you basically out the long screen, and that was pretty funny.
Yes. Sorry, I'm just too close to the mic. My mic technique is bad.
So what was your longest recorded screen? Like movie? It doesn't even have
Well, I've tried to time it before. Here's the thing, like, a lot of those screens are they're all real screens, but some of them are really that long, and then sometimes we use a recording technique, and this is where it kind of pays to be a bit of a musician, is that I will scream to a point and know that I'm going to run out of air. And so it might taper off, but then they'll play that for me, and then I'll start screaming and take a breath. They're like, ah! And then we'll record it, and I'll go, ah! And I keep going, and then they do an editing technique in Pro Tools to edit together, because I don't think I can scream for 3 minutes long. I don't think I can hold that much. I could hold a lot of air when I was a hornist, and I can do circular breathing as a hornist, but I can't do circular breathing with my vocal cords because there's not another pouch in here. This is the pouch for circular breathing when you're playing a brass instrument, but I can't. So yeah, maybe a minute. I don't know. A minute's a long time when you're screaming.
Well, I'm about to say, because I kind of noticed, like, during the show, like, especially when you went Super Saiyan 3, like, how many times they had to, like, ah!
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm usually sweating, and they usually keep the studio about 68 degrees, and I'm still sweating and passing out. It's intense. I mean, I guess no one ever realized how intense it was until we did Battle of Gods, and we did the I Will Not Let You Destroy My World business, and then the camera on, like, you watch me in there, I'm not, I'm hell on wheels. I'm being, who's writing me? Oh, wait, my agent. Sorry, shut that up. Anyway, sorry. I should usually keep that face down so I don't notice it. But yeah, it is intense. I mean, look, here's the deal. My first director wasn't a very good director, but he did give me one quick piece. He's like, it's for the children. My whole thing is if I'm thinking anything that's not Goku-y in the booth, it would be, how can I make you have this emotional experience that the original animation is giving? So I'm always looking at the animation, which is different, by the way, than Prelay, where we don't get to see the animation in advance. I'm always looking at that and making sure that vocally I'm bringing it as well as the animation. And I always feel like I'm just kissing the bottom of it. I'm never quite making it, maybe with the exception of that one scene, but I always feel like I'm just a little short, but I want that intensity to be there. So when I see videos, viral videos online, there are kids like watching with it, they're got the blanket and the popcorn or whatever, and then they're just like, whoa, I'm freaking out. That's exactly what I want to happen, because I'm not doing my job right otherwise, Was that the question, or how long I can scream? I don't know what the question was.
Because, like, essentially, I'm kind of doing some things, but I didn't know if you, like, used your diaphragm.
Breathing-wise, that's all brass technique breathing, which is the same as choir technique. I was a choir director also, so it's all diaphragmatic support and copious amounts of air. I'm throwing huge amounts of air. Air is doing all the work. In fact, I find that my diaphragm and my actual stomach muscles are physically sore from doing a Dragon Ball session. Kind of like when you laugh too hard and you're doing too much, you can feel those muscles working. Those are usually sorer than my throat, because the key to being able to scream like that for this many years, this long, is huge amounts of breath support. Because then you're making the air do the work and not your vocal cords. And that would be, that was the question, yes? Okay, good, thank you. Thank you so much, yeah. Good question. All right, let's see. Let's come up close to actually, let's go way to the back. I see this person standing up way in the back. Is this person here? Yes, you. And then we'll come towards the front. I try to spread it around, but hello.
You said you were a choir director.
Yes, I was, at my dad's church. Yes, I was.
Can you sing?
I can sing. Well, for those of you who check my parodies out online, which are hilarious and R-rated, I sang the opening theme to Dragon Ball Z Kai on DVD. So the first volume, if you got the first volume of don't stop wearing that, I sang all that. And I can sing any Darkness song at full falsetto. And I can sing like all that stuff. I love the Darkness. What was your question though? Just can I sing or not?
Well, I mean, I know you probably don't want to kill your voice, but maybe sing something for us.
Say, I have no idea what I would sing. I don't know. I don't know how to sing. I don't remember the lyrics to that. We can't find paradise. Is that how all we have to do is go free? So that part, I did that. That was all right. I was trying to copy the Japanese guy a little bit, but because he's a tenor and I'm a baritone, so it's a little hard for me. Yes, let's get this guy up here. That was your question, right? If I'd sing something. That's the best I can do, and I'm such a shy performer when it comes to singing on the spot, unless I'm gonna do a vocal concert. I tend to be presentational. This guy, who's kind of like Wolverine or something. I don't know, who are you dressed as today?
Negan from The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay. My girlfriend watches that show. I'm waiting for it to be over so I can watch the whole thing. So I have not watched it. And Jason Douglas, the voice of Beerus, is on Walking Dead. Yes, he is. He's a great actor. I love that guy.
My question to you is, when you were at the Science FX Expo in Puerto Rico, you mentioned a couple of ways on how you tend to use your voice for evil.
Evil, yes, using your voice acting powers for evil.
You mentioned stuff like, for example, like how Go orders pizza, and how you would mess around at the steak restaurant you worked at.
Yeah, Steak and Ale, which we call Stuck in Hell.
Yeah. And you would call up as your boss, like, yeah, I'd like to get a couple steaks, and then you would run back.
So now you're doing the whole bit for me. What's the question?
My question is, what is the most evilest thing you have done, either with Goku, King Kai, Nail, Lucario, one of your voices?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I've used those voices for evil, but I have faked not speaking English before, and I have faked speaking fake Spanish before, and I don't do as much of that, as I used to, because I'm an adult, I guess. I don't know. I will if I'm with Chris Sabat, because he'll usually encourage me to do something like that. And it was more of a fun thing to do when you're not, I guess when you're a professional voice actor, you're like, well, I can't do that anymore. But I guess I can I suppose I could. I usually use voice acting for just making people laugh and stuff, or entertaining or whatnot. Although, and since when you get on a show, though, then it becomes a burden, because then all your friends are asking you to be a monkey and perform all the time. Perform, dance, monkey, and I just want to be. My family's really bad about it, so I kind of like don't show up to stuff sometimes, because I'm like, oh, you're just gonna put me on the spot, so I'm not going home for Christmas. I know. I'm serious about it. But, so I guess other than the Steak and Ale trickery and Sabat, he's a bigger pranker than me. He did the whole Sally Beauty Supply trick where he got this woman to erase her hard drive because he was Sally Beauty Supply tech support and she was being abusive, so he just secretly talked her into erasing her hard drive. Yeah, it was very funny. I wasn't there, but I told the story numerous times. I can't think of anything other than just like, when I get solicitor calls on my landline, just calling them and giving them a hard time, and just like answering the phone and being, why are you calling me? Well, I want to come over to your house and call you, or I want to talk to your boss, or I want to, or what's your phone number? I will just reverse the tables a lot, but I don't use my voice for trickery too often. Every once in a while, but did you have anything in particular in mind, or?
I remember sometimes you'd like scare your girlfriend with the king.
Oh yeah, she won't let me do this for us. Not King Kai.
I introduce voice into a mirror.
Again, no, there's no way. She's like, no, she can't watch scary things before she goes to bed. Scary things just make me laugh. I mean, all the horror movies and all the teenagers getting murdered at camp. Oh, yes, kill them, they're horrible. And I did not feel sorry for the Taken girls, so you went to Europe, and with your friend with no help, and your dad's like, really? Really, and you didn't know better, that's why you got taken. So maybe I should have done that trip. I was like, go get him, Liam, but, you know, let him get scared a little bit. No, I'm kidding. But I don't. I'm like, you idiots. That's what I do. My mom laughs at the Alien movies. We were watching Aliens in the 70s or late 80s. I mean, early 80s. And she's at the theater with me. My mom just laughing. And I'm laughing. I'm like, Mom, this is scary. She's like, she thought it was funny. Maybe I'm sick. I don't know. Let's get this guy in the front here with the, yes, you, Punisher guy. That's the Punisher, right?
Punisher.
Yep.
That would be me.
Yes, I got one right.
So forgive me for not knowing this because I probably.
I don't care. It's okay.
Yeah, because I am.
You don't need to know.
My seat, but I'd rather ask you.
It's all right.
So you've had a long, storied voiceover career.
No, it's scary.
Which is awesome.
It is.
And
I mean that only in an I don't want to be arrogant. I'm like, no, I'm surprised too. My whole philosophy's always been like, if they keep hiring me, I'll keep doing this.
I will take you as
Thank you. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. What's your question? Sorry.
So my question is, have you done any live action acting?
I have. I've done, and I'm looking at doing more of that this year. I did a JetBlue commercial a few years ago. You won't recognize me in it. It's on YouTube somewhere. I did 4 of them. And I did a couple independent films, and I've been offered 2 scripts in LA that I'm talking with a couple of my friends about. One's a sci-fi project, and the other's a kind of a nostalgic 80s type of comedy thing. So I both genres I would love to do sci-fi or any kind of TV show where I get to change my voice, because I like changing my voice, obviously, where I've got some kind of Star Trek prosthesis on, and I'm some kind of character, you know, where I'm just on the show doing some crazy voice, you know, like Worf did, or like, you know, Neelix or whoever. I would love to have, a lot of those guys don't like that. I love that sort of stuff.
You should be an alien on Supergirl.
Oh, I'd love to be an alien on Supergirl. I was. Oh, on Supergirl, I'd love to be an alien on, I thought you were talking about DC Supergirls. I'm like, no, I was on that show. No, it was DC Supergirls. No, I was on DC Girls as Opal, but it was a voice acting role. It was not a, yeah, I have mixed feelings about that show, because I think she's great, and I think it's well done in its own quasi-campy way. Some of the lines are like, really? Did you just say that? Really? Like, especially the first episode, and she's like, okay, you're going to this planet, and I'm like, really? So, but it's entertainment, you know, I like it, it's a good show. Thank you. Yes, let's go this guy with the arm. Yes, you got an arm.
Yes, I got an arm.
Sorry, I don't know what to say. Because you never know if you're going to pick, hey, I'm offended. So.
Alright, so it's working. Do you think that Super Saiyan 4 or Super Saiyan Blue is cooler?
Cooler? Well, Blue would be technically cooler. Super Saiyan 4 would not be canon. At both the hair color choices and the fact that Kira Toriyama seems to be obsessed with power levels and hair color. I would love to be able to ask him what his thinking is, because he's a very interesting guy. I've never met him and I've never spoken with him. Chris has met him and was instructed not to look at him. But apparently he's a very shy guy, and you know I understand. But yeah, and apparently he's even on Dragon Ball Super. I mean, people are talking about like Bulma or Trunks' hair being the wrong color or something. That's because he forgets. He's like kind of this mad genius who forgets things. So his production team reminds him of things he drew 20 years ago that he forgot about. And he publicly has admitted to forgetting entirely about launch. Yeah. Someone asked, when are you going to bring launch back? And he goes, oh, I forgot about it. I think that's what he said. I don't want to offend anybody watches this in Japan or for Kira Toriyama. We're certainly not trying to, you know, because I have my whole career is built on this guy's. And I think that's what's fascinating for any of you who want to be, you know, or dabble in drawing or want to be artists. This is a guy who just, and Mike Judge is the same way, by the way. They're just drawing, and they're doing their passion, and now look what we have. This is a tangential part of that. I'm the dub voice actor for the English version, and we got art. I did. We did the coloring. I did. He did all of it there. And every once in a while, I catch lines that I feel are inconsistent with the character, and I will ask if I can change them, which I have to get approval on. But they usually let me do it because I know the character really well now. Because yeah, that's a good question though. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, go way over wide with the hat, and then we'll go to the back again. Yeah, but I'm surprised. And you guys got in okay, right? Did a lot of you have to check your weapons or stuff like that?
Can't bring one.
Can't bring it. But I was just wondering if that screwed up a lot of people. Like they walk over here, oh, I can't bring this, I'm going home. Yes, for the hat.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I have 2 questions for you.
How many? What? A stupid question or 2 questions? Did you say I had a stupid question for you or 2 questions?
Well, in some retrospect, it could be one, but it might be up to you.
So it's 2 questions.
Yes.
Which remains to be seen whether or not it will be stupid. I'm kidding. I won't tell you if it's stupid. And if it is stupid, I will tell you. So,
for you to tell me that's stupid, that's an honor. I will literally break down and cry. Okay, but
that's not mine.
Okay, so I know that you played Batman in the video game, and I've actually played it.
I did, thank you. Very few people play that game.
It's actually, in my opinion, a masterpiece, but that's just my opinion.
Well, thank you.
So my first question is, what was it like playing the Batman?
First of all, that was like a bucket list moment. Because when your first role is Goku, you wonder where you're going to go from there. Because it's a pretty big deal, which really didn't dawn on me until about 5 years into playing the character, about how big a deal it would be and where I could go. So when I got called to audition for, I played Batman in The Dark Knight Rises for iPad. Not for any TV show, just for this iPad and iPhone and Android, the video game. And they wanted me to voice match Christian Bale. And the tricky part of that was, the way I did it was, what was the question, by the way, before I go on my tangent? Because I tend to go on my tangent first.
I said for my first question was that, what was it like playing Batman?
Playing, okay. All right, and what was the second question? Because I'm going to try to roll them into one.
Pretty much my favorite line of Goku is when you are about to face Frieza and you're like, ally for good, nightmare to you!
Yeah, that was hard to say. I thought those lines were kind of dorky. Just approved for voice match of Christian Bale, but we only have one, and they didn't tell me till I got there because I signed a non-disclosure. Now, normally when I get a voice match, I will go study the shit out of it, right? I had one clip. Now, luckily I'd seen his Batman before, but still you want it in your headphones because that's where you're going to really hear it. So I got the part, but after I got the part, I went through all the Batman movies that were there, and I dumped them into Pro Tools, and then I went through and edited out every single Batman line, every single Bruce Wayne line, then I put the Batman lines together, the Bruce Wayne lines together, then I put it in my iPhone, and then I put headphones on, and every day of the session, I would just listen to all the lines from the movie back and forth, afterward, just to make sure it sounded consistent. I was sick during those recording sessions, and so there's a lot of injury that I don't want to disclose, but it was a painful injury. And it was difficult to play that character. I always like to imply that they had some kind of escapade previously that we were not privy to, involving maybe a big party or something nefarious or maybe, naughty. So when Goku goes, Gregory Bubbles, I mean, I'm trying to remember last time and we had that part. Like, I'm trying to imply that he has been partying with Gregory and Bubbles behind King Kai's back, smoking all his weed and eating all his brownies. I'm always trying to imply that. And then Funimation's go, what are you saying? I go, it's a comedy, I'm just joking. And I guess I was just struck, I've only got a few minutes left and I don't get to say this very often. It's very surreal and a lovely present to, and this happens almost every convention I go to, which it always shocks me when I'll do a panel and the room's full like this with so many people. I can't tell you if you're an aspiring artist, there's no greater feeling. And I feel sorry for people who, I was jokingly saying, hey, there's no rock star plumbers, and somebody said, Mario, and I'm like, well, other than Mario, meaning that, when you're an actor in the medium I'm in, you get this kind of opportunity, and the guy that made this table maybe doesn't, although it was probably a robot, but there'll be robots on panels and making, yes, when I created your furniture, it was a lovely experience, thank you. Everybody's so awesome. The future's gonna get really awesome, like right at the end of my life, because the CRISPR thing, the graph.